Yay Media Group.
If it was like, you're going to win $1,000 if you call whoever answers your phone call.
Dude.
Peyton's the one I'm calling.
I always
You
answer.
always answer. My mom, never. Hey guys, episode 224. Jeff is back in town now. A couple days ago, Peyton was on, and then now it's all three of us.
Guess who's back?
Back again.
Peyton's back.
Let's do a lap before we meet for location.
What?
Clueless. When Cher, they're like rolling with the homies, and her and
Dion?
Yes, and she's like, D, let's do a lap before we meet for location. And Brittany Murphy. Yes, they're at the Christmas party. And she gets hit in the head with the shit.
Hey, make sure that mic's up close to your mouth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, remember when we watched that on cassette or like tape? How you used to watch them? And I remember we kept rewinding it back and forth because the one where she bounces and goes down.
Boobs is like, she's just like falls. And he's like rolling with the homies.
When was the last time you watched that movie?
In November when I flew out here.
Oh, you watched it on the plane?
Yes, I was laughing.
I wanted to be Dion.
I
I loved her outfit, the black and red one that looks like Dr. Seuss.
Yes.
And she had like
She
the
had that
bag.
bucket on
and
her
I
head.
loved her and that guy. I don't know. What was his name?
I don't
keep
even
going.
know. He, it was the, thank you.
Her boyfriend.
Yes. He was.
Ty?
No.
Ty was Brittany Murphy, right? I haven't seen that movie in years.
No, it was Ty, I think. Because remember, gosh, I don't remember any of the characters, but he's like, Ty, why? I'm not in love with Ty.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
in love
that's
with you.
right. It's
Brittany
the redhead.
Murphy played Ty.
Yeah.
But the other guy that Dion dated, I liked him too.
I loved him, yeah.
She's like, Murray, why would you do this, Murray? He was shaving his head in the bathroom. She's like, I'm going to call your mama. He's like, don't call my mama, don't call my mama.
Remember that?
Kinda, not like you guys.
That's the best movie.
And I remember when Cher had the closet and it was computerized. I was in 5th grade when Clueless came out, and I told my mom to take me to the movies to go watch it, and she said no, it wasn't age appropriate. So I snuck and watched it. Yeah, because it's all about sex, and the guy that she likes, remember, he's gay.
I don't know if I've ever seen that movie, to be honest with you.
What?
Clueless?
Clueless?
we're watching it.
remember when Cher...
Wait, that's when
The
yellow outfit.
Yes.
Okay, am I thinking the one with Jonathan Bennett?
Probably.
Who's Jonathan Bennett?
There was a TV
The
series.
guy who was on DBL. Is that with us? He co-hosted
Oh,
DBL?
no, that's Mean Girls.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of.
You're thinking of Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, with all the Santa outfits.
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
That's
no.
Clueless is the one where she's wearing the yellow outfit.
Yes, the
Alicia Silverstone.
Yes.
Remember when she gets robbed and she goes, I cannot get on the ground. This is an Alaya.
And he
And
goes,
he's like,
what up?
What? She's like, an Alaya. He's like, I will totally Alaya shoot you in the head.
I still don't know if I've seen
Oh my God,
You
you
guys
gotta
are
watch it.
making me think of White Chicks.
Oh, that's a good
I
one.
love White Chicks. That movie was so
Was that
funny.
like a spoof on...
I don't think so. No, I think that was making fun of the Hilton sisters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Oh, all right.
Because that was about like their dad owned a cruise ship or whatever and all that. And I think they were making fun of the Hilton sisters.
What was the one, Malibute?
Oh my God, me and Megan always do that. Traffic, looking for my chapstick. Feeling kind of carstic. There's a full Maverick.
Oh, that's Malibu's Most Wanted.
Yes.
Jamie Kennedy. I've definitely seen
I
that.
freaking love Jamie
That's
Kennedy.
so funny.
So funny.
And the one that he likes, the girl he likes in the movie, it's so funny.
Gosh, I used to call that her
I
Megan.
think she blew up.
What do you mean?
Not like blew up. I think she's like in a bunch of movies now.
Oh, yeah.
The one that he likes in Malibu.
It was an African American girl. She's pretty. Yes,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
She's very pretty.
She was in scary movies, like all of those.
She's still acting. I don't know her name. I know what you're talking about.
I cannot wait. The Scary Movie 6 is coming out with the Wayans brothers and all that. It is going to be hilarious. You know how they make fun of all the horror movies? It's coming out, I think, this summer. I cannot wait.
He just saw Scream. We talked about it on the last podcast.
Oh, well, good.
Anything horror. Peyton took my mom by JonBenét Ramsey's house. They dropped me off at the hair salon, and then they went to Boulder. And because my mom's like, I've never seen it.
My mom's like, you need to be true crime like agent. I was like, I would love that. I don't like blood though, but I do like the stories.
You're fascinated by it.
I'm fascinated by that stuff.
But like everybody. That's everyone's watching.
I talked to a lady on TikTok and she'll give out like all the new true crimes to watch, and I'll do her the same.
What do you mean you talk to her?
Well, like we message. She's like popular.
And she's a stranger?
Oh, she's super cute. Her and her husband live up like in Mooresville.
And she writes you back?
She has, yeah. I mean, I'm not like super close with her, but
can you put this straight?
She's like, I don't really know what she does, but yeah.
She's got a podcast about true crime?
No, she does everything on TikTok. All of her stuff.
See, we don't have TikTok, so we don't know.
And so she'll be like, I forget her husband. She's like, is it Brent maybe? She's like, here's some true crimes to watch. And I've been like, so-and-so, you got to check this one out. And
you just find
Yeah,
people?
well, I follow her, and super cute woman.
What was your first message you wrote her?
Oh my God, you got to watch the Scream. I think she was talking about watching the Scream documentary because, there's a real murder that happened. And she wrote me back and was, just like she watched it and everything. So.
Okay, speaking of like stuff we're watching, we all just finished All Her Fault, and it's so good. So we're a little behind, but it definitely, what I liked about it is after every episode, we're all thinking, okay, it's the dad, it's the brother, it's the sister, somebody's got, they all seem suspicious.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's on Peacock. But I love that, things don't add up or really make sense in something, because I try to find the logical aspect in everything. And even in the real world, I can't find the logical aspect, but it's entertaining. I love the suspense in a crime thriller when you're like, oh, they did it. Oh, they did it. And it's really the director that sets it up. That's good writing.
Yeah. I should have paid attention to it more than I did.
You're too busy playing on your phone watching TikTok.
I am addicted to TikTok.
I think that's a younger person thing. I don't even have TikTok.
I will literally stay at home all day and just watch TikTok and laugh.
How old are you?
37, but I have a mind of like a child. I like to have fun and be not so serious and have fun. And I love TikTok.
Do you go on, what other social media do you use?
Besides that, I mean, I'm on Instagram and Facebook, but that's just like you post stuff. But TikTok, they give you can find restaurants and clothing and
everybody says it's like
TikTok
good to
is like
find.
It's like what am I trying to say? Advertisement for businesses, and so you can find like in Wilmington. When I go to Mom's Beach House, we find restaurants, and I get it off TikTok.
So you just lay in our downstairs bed naked, with your hairy butt, and watch TikTok.
I do in the middle of the night. And
I'm gonna have to like sanitize those sheets.
We're gonna have to
burn them.
A bomb in there. We're gonna have to burn that room.
And when your house people,
Peyton, when he was with my mom the other day, where did I go? I had to go get the kids. He farted and like got out of the car and like left me in the car, and it was like a Dutch oven in there, and I had my seats all heated because you had them hot. And I was so mad. It just stunk so bad, and I was like, I'm driving to go pick up the kids, and now I'm gonna smell like this awful fart, and I had to roll my windows down.
Dude, do you might have to bomb that car with the throw up?
It was bad. Me and Mom had oh God!
Jeff, I need a new car.
We had chilies in the Santa Fe salad and put all that hot sauce on it from Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, so they both were just like back and forth, just Putin.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh my God. And then Leighton was like, Uncle Stinky, you are not riding with us anymore in the car. He was like, you stink.
Dude, Peyton came up this morning. It was like 6 a.m. and I was like eating breakfast before work. Peyton comes up in his underwear, like half down. He's like, oh, hey, what's up, yo-yo? And he's on the phone. And I'm
Do
like,
you think it was a bear?
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, I just get some water. I got dry mouth down there.
Probably from all the wine you drank last night.
Probably. It was funny, the text you sent from your camera outside, and I'm like outside taking the pictures, and you said, there's a bear in our front yard.
I was at work, and I saw the Ring camera go off. I'm like, oh, what's going on? And I saw someone going out there, and I was like, oh, I thought you were going out to have a ciggy. I was like, no. What are you doing having a ciggy out there?
No. Me and Mom are just infatuated.
And then you were taking selfies.
We were taking selfies. I mean, me and Mom are infatuated. We have seen more snow this year than we ever have in the past probably 5 years.
They came to Colorado, and I'm like, y'all saw sunshine, rain, and snow. They saw it all. And it hasn't rained here in forever. I know. And it hasn't snowed here. And then they come here in all three.
And Charlotte is in the 80s right now. And that down at the beach is in the 80s.
I know. I was just in Charlotte for a basketball game and it was freezing. Yeah. And now, like the next day after I left, it was 80.
So when we fly home tomorrow, it's supposed to be 80s tomorrow. Yeah, Sunday.
Well, it's going to be, we're getting a lot of snow now here. And this is Friday night.
I like it. I like it tonight because we had so much planned like this weekend that we had to do like sports stuff. I signed the boys up for these like football camps and I'm so happy everything got canceled. And I'm like, I don't have to do anything. It's so nice.
I love snow days.
I do too. You just get cozy on the couch and
cook food, good food.
And, that's like, so after this, we got good food. I'm going to grill up in the snow. Yeah. And then hang with the neighbors and just drink boxed wine.
Boxed wine, Boda, the way to go.
Starting a business can be very terrifying.
It's so scary because it's the unknown. We have our merchandise, we have our podcast, and you don't want to make the wrong choices.
That's right. And I've talked to all the sharks on Shark Tank over the years. Where do I start? And they say, at the beginning, jump right in. And that's where you team up with Shopify and make it easier for yourself. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have trials and tribulations, but starting is the hardest part.
You can get started with your own design studio with hundreds of ready-to-use templates. Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store that matches your brand style. I love that because it makes it so much easier. Accelerate your efficiency, whether you're uploading new products or trying to improve existing ones. Shopify is packed with helpful AI tools that write product descriptions, page headlines, and even enhance your product photography. Get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you. Easily create email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are strolling.
It's time to turn those what ifs into with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/togetherness. Go to shopify.com/togetherness. That's shopify.com/togetherness.
We went to earlier today, last minute, because next week we're going on spring break. You guys, I love my nail lady, but I feel so bad because my nails aren't lasting. This only lasts in like 2 weeks and then they're chipping and it's too expensive. So I tried somebody new today. She's so sweet.
Super sweet.
Peyton sat with me.
Yeah, super
and she was so nice. It was funny. I didn't know they were on your show because when I was booking my appointment, I got on the websites because the girl that did my hair yesterday, I go, do you have a nail girl that you go to? I need to find a new place. And she goes, oh, I go to this place over here. And I was like, oh, that's right by me. So I'm going to give it a try. And she was like super sweet. And she was like, oh, they do a good job. And when I was on the website, I was looking and it said, great day, Colorado. I'm like, oh my God, that's hilarious. They were on the show. You probably met them.
I don't know. It might've been before me too.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
But the girl was super sweet. I felt so bad. So it took 40 minutes. She was running behind and then I waited 40 minutes before she grabbed me. And she's like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, don't worry about it. And by the time I sat down, her next client that was behind me came in. And I told her, I go, listen, all I need is I just need these shaping up. And really, I just need them painted. I was like, so I know what it's like. From like when I worked at the hair salon, I go, you don't want to get behind. I go, that's the worst feeling. I was like, just paint my nails and we will be on our way. Yeah. And then I left her a really good tip. And then because we waited so long, they were like, we're going to give you 20% off today. We're so sorry. And I was like, oh, it's totally fine.
You're such a good person.
She thanked Jordan for being so nice.
She was like, thank you because what happened was it was two friends that came in together to get their nails done. And the one nail person was like, I'm going ahead and getting started. She like kept waiting on my girl to get done and was like, what are you doing? And I could tell she kept walking around. She goes, well, I'm going to go ahead and start her. And then I knew if the other girl was just sitting there, that girl would get mad. So I told her, I was like, don't worry about it. No. I'll come back. I'll book with you. I asked her what her name was. My thing just came undone. I was like, I'll ask you. I asked her what her name was. And I was like, I'll come back to you like another time.
You're cheating on your nail girl.
Well, I asked her, I go, how long have you been here? She goes, only 2 weeks. And she goes, I'm used to working. She did nails outside of her house. People came to her house.
Oh, I like that.
And then she goes, so I'm not really used to like having appointments back to back. And again, she was so sweet.
She was very sweet. She was very pretty too.
Very pretty.
Very pretty.
And and she was young.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah.
We're
And
easy
I
to
get
talk
it. We've all been there, either whether it's restaurant or like if you've worked with other people in the public.
Yes, people can be annoying, rude.
Somebody could easily just be like, oh, no, you got to do my nails. I'm next. You know what I mean? It's like, do something nice like that and for her. And then that just makes her day a little bit easier. And I told her, I go, I got nothing going on today. You know, I was like, I'm with this guy today. I go, we're going to Whole Foods after this.
Did you get your paws painted?
No, I did not get them painted.
Did you get a?
Well, because the time ran out. So then it was like, I was like, don't worry about it. And then that reminded me because you and I, my mom and brother watched the boys, so you and I could just have a couple hours to ourselves. And Jeff and I sat at the bar at this place called Pastino, which is near our house, but we don't ever go. And we just had wine. But while we were sitting there were these 2 ladies already sitting there with wine at the bar, waiting for their friend. They had flowers on the chair for their friend to come. This lady and her mom walk up. Jeff and I are on the corner bar, okay? And she goes, is anybody sitting here? And she goes, yeah, our friend is on her way. And she got so rude with them. It made me uncomfortable.
Dude, I couldn't even look anybody in the eyes for 5 minutes.
Me and you were
uncomfortable.
She goes, I'm sorry. I didn't know we were in elementary school and saving seats. And the lady's like, it's for our friend. She's on her way. And then she goes, Mom, it's okay. Just sit here, Mom. And she's like, I'll just stand. Don't worry. I didn't realize we're all in elementary school. And Jeff and I are just sitting here. I'm like, I just want to have a night with you and like laugh. And so you and I are just sitting there like drinking our wine more and like looking down. And I wouldn't even make eye contact.
Me neither. But part of me, I can't believe you told that story because that was in our neighborhood. So someone probably knows who we're talking about. But
we don't know those people.
I don't know them, but maybe, I don't know.
Nobody knows them. I didn't know who they were.
Part of me in those situations want to like, I'm so like curious, but then, you know, people like that kind of want problems for themselves. And then when you react, all of a sudden they're the victim of the situation that they just created. So part of me wanted to say like in the moment, I didn't. I totally chickened out and looked the other way and I pretended I was watching a hockey game and eating cheese.
Right.
But in my head, I was like, why did you even ask if that seat was available if you were going to have that reaction? You know what I mean? It's like my friend's coming for her birthday.
Right.
And then
like that's an honest answer. There was no seats available in the whole place unless you wanted to sit outside and it was cold outside. So her friend was coming for her birthday and she's like, yeah. And her friend, by the way, came like 3 minutes later.
3 minutes after she said that. And the ladies didn't respond back. Nobody said anything, but it was just like that awkward silence. And I was like, do we really have to just be listen, I don't know what people's days are like. Maybe she had a bad day. Maybe because it was her mom's birthday. It was, who knows? We don't know what people are going through. And maybe something just tested her and just made her
I know, but
mad.
I just don't understand. Like
that
people are so like,
quick.
Again, in juxtaposition to the story you just said today, you're like, that's fine. I don't need that. I'll just get my nails painted and thank you. And you made a friend out of it. And that girl appreciated it, you know, and life goes on. Or you could have a different attitude and be like,
well, I'm new. I want this
I paid
done.
for this.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's like, do you understand you're the one causing the problem? Do you understand you writing those things on the internet? Do you understand you reposting that negative shit? Do you understand they have no, in their mind, they have no idea that they're the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not like I'm perfect, but it's like, don't you know that wasn't a nice thing to do? It's like they're just sitting there having wine and they're saving a seat for their friend. Right. What do you want me to do? Right. You want us to leave?
Right.
And what do y'all think about my nails if you can see them?
I always just love calling people see you next Tuesdays. That's like my favorite word. I'm like, don't be see you next Tuesday. You know,
but then you're stirring it up.
I know,
you're stirring it up.
But sometimes when people, they get under your skin, I'm just like, don't be that.
I know. I want to say something so bad.
Too.
I'm just waiting. I mean, I'm getting older. I'm waiting till I'm like in my 70s because I think when you're in your 70s, you get a little grace and you can kind of say whatever you want. I'm just waiting.
I remember one time I was at Starbucks at Harris Teeter where I live, and this was like a few years back. And this woman got mad because I was holding a spot for my friend.
In the Starbucks line.
In the Starbucks line, like where you walk to order. You had to go, in the grocery store. And like, it was my turn to pay because me and him would switch off paying. And she got so mad at me. Like, and I just kind of blew up on her. Like,
I would have been like, ma'am, I'll pay for your coffee. What would you like?
I wasn't that nice to her. I told her she didn't look like she didn't need coffee in Starbucks.
You said that?
Oh, the women at Starbucks were like, Peyton, you're always the kindest person. We've never seen that side of you. I said, I can get like that. Because she said something about, well, I can see how your mother raised you. And I said, you need to take yourself to McDonald's across the street. It looks like you need a Happy Meal.
Don't you talk about mama.
Oh, no. When you go after like that. And she was like, yeah. I blew up on her. And everybody just stood in line and was like shocked. They were like, this is not like, we've never seen you act like this. I said, I'll cut a bitch. Don't talk about my mama. I will cut a bitch.
See, I don't know. Like, I think everyone's at that. Like, everyone's just ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like everyone's getting in the red. Yeah. It's like one little thing. Some people, it just depends on who you are. Like, we'll look the other way like we did yesterday. I'm like, that's not my problem.
We never go out, and like you and I, and we never ever go to this restaurant because we don't want to take our kids there because it's more like wine.
No, it's an adult thing.
It's more like an adult thing. And because I told Jeff when we were going, I go, do you want to just go to our usual spots? And he goes, no, let's go somewhere we don't normally go. And that's why we went there.
Right.
But it's like, I just feel like everybody's on edge because, I mean, if you talk to anybody, nobody's happy with their jobs.
No.
Nobody's happy. Everybody's got like an extra added layer of stress, whether it be like your kid, whether it be your marriage, your job, sports, and you're just stressed. People are just stressed.
I'm telling you, we go back to the same thing every podcast. I think social media is a major part. I think the news with the politics and social media, everyone thinking that their life isn't as perfect as everybody else because everyone just posts perfect pictures online, that you're kind of like, what am I doing wrong in life? And I really think we are all, for the most part, I understand there's outliers, there's super rich, there's super poor, and everybody in the middle. And I just think everyone's kind of doing the same, and happiness is a state of mind.
Right.
And I think social media takes us out of that appreciation for life and like, wow, it's snowing out. It's a beautiful day.
Right.
My family's in town. Let's enjoy this. Let's make some memories. Let's eat some good food.
Right.
Let's listen to some music and let's enjoy each other.
Right.
Instead, it's like, did you see what that bitch did yesterday at Piscina? Did you see? You know what I mean? It's like we're like getting trained, and we don't even know it subconsciously to just fall into the negative. And you have to realize that yourself and kind of pull yourself out and say, "All right, they got their problems. Right. I'm not getting involved because I know once I do get involved, you're gonna end up being the victim.
You just kind of got to ignore it.
Yeah, you got to ignore it. But again, the other half of me wants to be like, I swear, when things like that happen, I want to be like, hey, could I talk to you real fast? I'm going to hit record on here. And I just want to know what their brain's thinking. Because if I talk, I'm sorry, this lady, I'm using her as an example. It wasn't, whatever. But I just want to know what they're thinking in their head. Right. I just want to be like, hey, why did you react like that? Could I ask you a question?
That's what I'm saying.
I just want to know their answer.
Right.
And maybe they're like, you know what? My father just died and I'm here with my mother and it's her birthday and we're grieving. And it's like, oh, now I want to make sense of everything in my head, but I can't make sense of everything at all. So I think that's part of the frustration. And I wonder if people are feeling the same.
I try to do at least one day an act of kindness. Like I was at a grocery store. I'm always at the grocery store. And a lady's credit card kept declining. So I paid for her groceries.
That was sweet.
You know, and then, I could see when she walked out, she drove, a really old beat up car. But it made me feel good. It was like an act of kindness. Chick-fil-A or the coffee, Starbucks, whatever. I try to pay for the car behind me.
I paid for a police officer the other day.
An act of kindness.
I want to pay for the cop behind me because I was going a little fast and I was scared they were going to get me. I want to pay for the cop behind me. And the person's like, oh, that was nice. And so, yeah.
You know, I was in North Carolina this weekend and we were in Starbucks line and somebody paid for our coffees.
Really? Well, see.
We repaid it. We paid for behind. But I was like, oh man, Southern living.
Yeah, Southern. I mean,
but people are very kind. I mean, we're at the basketball game, Duke, North Carolina.
Oh, you didn't even share this.
Yeah,
story.
Just like people are very kind in the South.
Yes, we are.
And even if they're not, you know, like that fake Southern kindness, like bless his heart, bless your heart, which means like go fuck yourself.
Yes,
but it's 100%. Still like, oh, how are you? My name's Jeff. Hi, Mr. Or this is Mr. Jeff, and everyone's like very respectful, even if they're not. At least they use the right terminology to be respectful, you know. And it's like there was some part of me, and I was like, I do like. Even if they're faking it, I do like that draw a little bit slower. Yeah. And they're more respectful, I feel like.
We live in Colorado, normally like the West Coast type living, like California we lived. It's not like that here. No. It's kind of like that here, but not like the South.
No. I feel like in the South, even a small town, and we're in a small town suburb. In the South, I feel like, hey, Peyton, what's going on? Like the girls at Starbucks know you're.
It's more trusting,
right? It's like small community living where people look out for each other.
Like when I see moms like loading up their kids in the van and I'm at the grocery store. I'm like, hey, can I take your grocery cart? So they don't have to walk all the way back down. You know, I do that for elderly people too. It's like just acts of kindness like that.
I love how that.
We are in
but
the
I
South.
feel like here, if somebody did do that, you kind of be like, wait, what? Like, why are you walking up to me? It's weird.
Everyone's kind of I did notice the difference in just the short time I was there.
But Peyton's like, hey, baby.
Yeah.
And they laughed at you. Like, he goes, I'm going to miss seeing you, Marianne. This is my Starbucks lady.
We love her.
And he was like, I love you, baby. And then people, they just like crack up and laugh.
But that's how I am. Like, I noticed too, because in the South, we wave to people. Even if you don't know people, when you pass them, you just wave. Here, people just look at you like you have two heads. Like,
and if you see someone,
it's a habit for me because I'm from the South.
But if you see someone in a grocery store that you kind of know, it's like everyone's kind of dodging each other, and I'm like, what happened? I thought I just met you a couple months ago.
There was a lady one time in Ballantyne where it's like, I don't know, 15 minutes from my house, but me and my friend parked my car and getting at the grocery store, and I saw this elderly lady. I mean, she was the cutest, probably only 4'5". She was crying. Her back went out. And so I approached her slowly because, you know, I am a big bear. And I was like, miss, I said, baby, can I help you? And she was like, it's my back. So me and my friend Angie loaded up her groceries. And then I was going to drive her car home. She couldn't drive. So we called her son. He was in his 50s. He didn't answer. So we followed her home. And Angie was like nervous. She's like, are we going to die? I'm like, honey, the girl's 80 years old. What's she going to do? Hit us over her head with her cane?
I don't think anybody could hit you.
No. So we drove to her house in Ballantyne, unloaded her groceries, got her inside. And then her son came over and he was, you know, kind of panicky. Two strangers in his mom's house. She had to be 80 something. But her back gave out and she was like crying and I felt so bad for her. But we unloaded her groceries, followed her home. I mean, that's like trust. You know, in the South, that's like what we do. But I
feel like it's more like that. Like here, that would not happen.
No.
At all.
But why not? Why can't that? And again, we're very specific to your community. I'm sure there aren't.
Because everybody gets murdered in Colorado.
I know.
They're all on Dateline.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think
they are on Dateline.
Part of us have a responsibility to be kinder as well.
Right.
You know, I'm more now because things are so, like I just said, in the red that I don't want to get into a confrontation and then all of a sudden I'm the aggressor somehow and they're the victim when I'm just trying to help. You know what I mean? I see people on the side of the road like with a flat tire. Yeah. And in my head, I'm like, man, I want to help that person. Right. And then I'm like, well, I also don't want to get murdered because I have a responsibility to take care of raise these kids.
Right.
It's like, that's how crazy my mind thinks in a snap. You know?
Because you never know.
Well, going back to the older lady, that reminded me of a story when Peyton was in high school. His car broke down, right? or you got a flat tire and you were coming home from the beach.
No, that was with me and the friend I used to hang out with. And it was her car. It didn't break down. We just spent all of our money at Arby's being fat asses. And we did not check the gas tank.
Curly fries.
And they didn't, and you were.
It was in Anson County, which you do not want to break down in Anson County.
So, you were what, 16?
I was 16.
17?
I was 16, yeah.
And then you did have a cell phone, though.
We did.
So these people stopped behind Peyton and his friend to pick them up. And they were like, come back to our house. And Peyton and his friend got in the car with these people and went to their house and they fed you.
Well, yeah, and they gave us gas.
And they gave them gas.
We went to it was an older guy where he was like, I'll take you to my mama's house. And I was like, okay. So we got in his truck. And because he saw us, we were walking down the road is what we were doing and trying to get flag someone to help us to go get gas. He was like, hop in my truck. He's like, I ain't going to hurt you. He had his kids on his little speed mom or whatever. And so we went to his house. They were nice to us, got us gas, drove us back. And then we
fed him.
Yeah, fed him. And then
he called my mom. My mom goes, where are you? He goes, oh, I'm just at this person's house. They picked me up.
In Anson County. My mom was like, oh my God, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Mom was free. We always were stressing our parents out. We were always doing something. And so Peyton and his friend, Peyton called my mom and was like, we're back in her car. We're fine. And my mom's like, oh my God, thank God.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just, some parts of that place is not, you don't want to break down there. But we just weren't paying attention. We were 17 and 16. We were leaving Wilmington,
Isn't that so fun though?
It is.
Like when you think back at that, like now that you're older and you're like, gosh, like you had no responsibility. Like you're just having fun. You weren't even checking your gas tank. You weren't worried about your job. You weren't worried about your kids or because you didn't have any, like anything like that. And you were just having fun, probably like listening to music, not a care in the world. All you needed to do was make it home.
Right.
And then you break down and somebody helps you. I wish I could go back to that.
No, I love that. And I still do think the world, not just America, the world is like that. I really do. I have faith. Even though we see negative things every single day, that's the only thing that grabs headlines. I really think if you did just shock somebody and be like, hey, how are you? In line, now it's like, what do you want from me?
Right.
I'm just being kind.
Yeah.
How are you? Let me pay for your Starbucks. I see your kids are going crazy here.
Right.
Let me pay for you. And then everyone always thinks it's an ulterior motive.
Right.
Why would you pay? Now it's like so ingrained in our mind, but when you travel, you're forced to have those interactions and sometimes the language barrier.
Right.
I've traveled everywhere, a lot of places. And everyone I've asked for directions or what's the best place or this, they're so kind.
Right.
And I really do think people are very kind.
Yeah.
The big majority, 80 to 90%. Of course, there's those outliers that are 10%, but just what we're seeing on TV, we're just scared out of like our protection for our kids, I think is another thing. It's just, I don't know.
Well, like the other day, it was, I don't know, a few months ago, beginning of winter, my neighbor was getting their roof done and it was cold and Spanish people work so hard and it was a bunch of them, just tearing this roof apart.
That's racist. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was about to say what you said. Oh, so anyway.
Peyton sent me photos. It was everywhere.
And
my roof.
Yes, and we
got a new.
we got a new roof. Yeah, and so they were doing it. So it was cold, and I said, I want Dunkin' Donuts. So I went and I got myself breakfast, but then I got all the workers breakfast. I got like you can get like the big jugs of coffee. I got them donuts, and they were so excited.
I think a lot of things too that you do, it's like you see how your parents did things.
Right.
And like if your parents were giving and generous like that and would do things, you kind of pick up on that because your parents did it as well. And too, if I feel like we have good hearts and we
have good hearts for sure
about people. I remember one time my parents, this was when my parents were married. Remember when we lived in Mint Hill, the deck, Dad and Mom were getting the deck redone at the house.
Yeah.
And there were a bunch of workers. I don't know how many guys were there. Maybe, I don't know, like 10 Mexican guys out there working on the deck and working so hard in all the heat. My dad goes to the gas station and gets Mexican beer for them and was like, hey guys, and fills up a whole cooler and just gives them all this Mexican beer. I go, why not just give them like Bud Light, Coors Light, whatever? My dad's like, oh no, they'll like this beer. Fills it up and then was letting them drink while they're working on the deck.
I mean, we're just laid back.
That's just how
just
it is.
Appreciation. I know, it's just appreciation. Like I used to hang out back in the day. Like I worked so many restaurant jobs, but I remember once specifically working at the Spanish Kitchen with Jesus and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And those guys in the kitchen, I know those guys in the kitchen would take care of me. I had no money. I'm out there. Right. And they would always hook me up. They call me puerco. Yeah. Like, what's up, puerco? Because I'd always eat the leftover pork, tacos. And I'm like, and we'd hang out and have some beers after them. And I would hang out with those guys at my house because I had such an appreciation of how hard they worked. And hard. I was just a waiter too. I wasn't like crushing it. But they would tell me, they're like, man, Jeff, they work like 3 different jobs. Mm-hmm. They're so happy. They live in the same house as all their friends, send all their money back. And then they're like, I can't wait. We're going to go to Las Vegas, man. I'm going to take my kid to Disneyland. Aww. We saved up for the whole year. And they're just so happy. I'm like, it made me like, I love surrounding myself with people that are hardworking and happy. And it gave me like appreciation of life, I knew that the whole time, but they were it sounds weird saying, but we hung out all the time and I loved doing that. And we'd have beers and have fun and boom, back to work, pick it up. And it's like, no, that's it. Not like this bitch cut me off on the way here. I can't believe this shit. I can't work today because I'm having a mental breakdown. I need a personal day. Get the fuck out of here with that. Get out of here. Like work hard, appreciate what you have, and you will find happiness within yourself. Right. Look at yourself first and you'll find happiness. And then surround your people with that same passion or zest for life. And if you're hanging out with people that just every single day, every single thing is a complication or something that they're a victim of, cut those people out of your life.
I hate negative people.
Cut those people out of your life.
I hate negative people.
You've always been like a happy person. Ever since we were kids. You always, like I'm the opposite. I'm very moody. Yes. I'm very moody. And once I'm done with you, I'm done with you. And then you always, I don't think people would ask me all the time, how's your brother so happy? I was just born that way. Yeah. Like he's like my mom and my dad. They're just calm, chill. They never fought, like very easigoing. I am like, I don't even know where mine comes from. I don't know. My moodiness and anger. Yeah. You got the opposite. Peyton you're the only person, I swear to God, I could call any time of day, no matter what. If I call you 3 times in a row, you'll answer every single time. I don't think you've never not answered a phone call. And if you haven't, 2 seconds later, you call me right back. And you're like, oh, sorry, yo. Yeah. I always answer everyone's call. If it was like, you're going to win $1,000 if you call whoever answers your phone call. Dude. Peyton's the one I'm calling. You always answer. My mom, never. I'm starting to fall into... I put it on my goal list for the year, like answer everyone's phone call. I don't, because I'm like just frustrated with life, or I'm I don't want to get in this conversation. And most of the time when I call you, I'm like, what's going on?
I mean, I have friends in the middle of the night that would call me drunk, and I just like, hey, like you don't ever know if something's wrong. And then if I don't answer anyone's call, people are like, oh my God, is he dead? Why didn't he answer my call?
You always answer
at 6 a.m. today.
I'm always. Yes, talking to Megan. We talk at 5 a.m. I mean,
y'all are like a married couple.
Yeah. She will leave the house and then call me on her way to work after I just said bye to her. And then she's like, Bees, I'm going to go get coffee. She's taking little E's to school. And then I'll just sit in my bed and just talk. And, she's like, I have to go to work today. And I'm like, I know that sucks.
How do you, I know you do snap because you just said that story, which is rare for you. Right. Honestly, it is. So how do you watch all that shit all day on social media and stay positive?
I think the reason why I snapped at that one lady though is because she made that comment about my mama about how she raised me. And I told her to take her fat ass to McDonald's.
I mean, you're like the water boy.
Yeah, definitely. And so I never really get mad like that. I'm always like, just stay positive. And when I see stuff on social media, I mean, I'm just kind of like...
You're like floating on a cloud.
Yeah, I like floating on a cloud. And no, I don't want to get involved in drama and all that because you get sucked in and now people film you and then it's on the internet and, you know, you can lose your job or whatever.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy. But I stay away from just crazy people. I mean, I've turned into a hermit as well. I mean, if I'm not at my house in Waxhaw, I'm at the beach with my mom or traveling somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm on the go. I love being at home though. Just because the world's so crazy anyway. I'm happy with my 2 dogs, my crime shows. I cook. I love cooking. And, you know, I'm feeding Megan or Dawn.
He's a good cook.
See, you found peace in yourself.
Yeah. I mean, that's mainly what I do every day.
That's hard to do. That's really hard to do.
When you cut out negative people, which I've had in the past and cut out with certain groups, and I have, it's like, okay, what was I thinking hanging out with them? They were trash.
You can definitely tell, like, you might not see it at that time, but then once you get away from those people, whoever it may be that at that time in your life, you're like, oh, wait, I can see. Maybe I was pulling away from my husband. I was more about my kids. Maybe I was a jerk to you for whatever reason. Maybe, And
then it's just like you find that when you get away from people that are like that and not doing good things and all that, then it's like, you know, you find your good group that is positive and nice and there's no fighting, there's no just using of you, and we all have fun together. And I just hang out now with really my small group of girls in Waxhaw. And you know, when I'm not with them, I'm, like I said, I enjoy cooking at home. I'm at the beach with my dogs and my life's just simple and I love it.
See, that's good.
And I found happiness. I don't need to be with anyone. I love being with myself.
I think I need to compartmentalize a little bit more and be like, all right, this is work. What happens here is work, and then go home. But every part of my life bleeds into the other one. If Jordan's pissed at me, I suck at work. And then I come home and then I'm pissed. And then I'm mad at the kids because I sucked at work. And then Jordan made me mad. And then I work out and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to work out. I'm just going to have a beer because I'm pissed off at. And then the whole thing is not, you were the catalyst of it. I'm just saying, that's an example of like, this guy cut me off. Don't let it bleed into me coming home and treating my kids differently because I'm mad about something. I need to compartmentalize my existence.
I never get mad really when people cut me off because I don't say anything. I'm not one of those people that are like, give you the finger or cuss you out, because nowadays people will shoot you. But I mean, I'm just always worried about hitting the car in front of me or whatever if they cut me off or whatever. But I try not. Like, that's
we talked about that. I'm better about that too.
Yeah.
I need to be better about hanging around with happy people and enjoying. And like I said,
and don't let the negativity get you down.
Right. And then all these. Jordan asks a lot of questions. What about this? What about this? What about this? That involves the future. And it's like little bit, I'm sinking a little bit more into the cement.
Right.
Like I need to get out. I need some solid ground.
You just got to be happy and learn to be happy. Hang out with the right people. And don't be stressed.
No, Jordan helps
don't be stressed.
You've helped out my anger a ton, love.
You do get angry sometimes.
No, he's so calm.
Well,
what about you?
Are you talking about me or Jordan?
Well, no, I'm saying I've seen you get like.
But how much have I changed since I met you?
A lot. Jordan is more.
She's taken on my role and I've taken on not her role, but.
Kinda.
You've become me and my friends from Norwich in Chicago.
It's because who you hang around with. And it's you.
I'm not that guy anymore. I mean, I'm still the same guy, but I'm not that guy anymore.
No, I think I'm just getting older and I'm like, have my boundaries. And I'm like, I'm not putting up with this and I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. And I'm older now and I just don't care.
But you're mad. It's not like you're indifferent to the situation. You're pissed about it.
So you're pissed about people looking at you the wrong way or putting their groceries the wrong way or putting salt on something or dipping chicken
because I marinated it for a day and a half. Don't put salt on it until you taste it.
Yeah. Hey guys, we're going to stop right here. We will pick back up next week. Peyton will still be here.
Yes.
Make it a 2-parter.
We're having deep convos.
We love.
Let's keep it going. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in and check back in for part 2 next episode.
Praise God.
Praise God.
Yes.
Yes, always.